Hi friends. So I wanted to make what I think will be my last follow-up video about the headaches related to COVID. So gosh, I think today would be somewhere around 110, 115 days since I was diagnosed with COVID. And I was somewhere around 100 days of a constant migraine when I finally got some relief. So I have had several people reach out to me that have found my YouTube videos because they are having the same experience with headaches post-COVID. So I wanted to make this follow-up video so that you could hear what I found to be my answer ultimately. On my last video, I had mentioned that I finally got in to see a neurologist, and she specializes in headache medicine. She's the only neurologist in the state of Oklahoma that has specific training for headache medicine. So that is my first tip of advice for people that are searching for answers is find a neurologist. And I don't have the experience to compare it to, but I would say try to find someone who specializes in headache medicine because that's all she does. That's all she studies. So she was able to give me answers, right away that helped. So my initial call with her, the first takeaway was the medications that my primary care had prescribed were causing rebound headaches. So even before I got in to see her physically in her office, this was a telemedicine visit, I took steps towards feeling better, and I did almost immediately feel better. I was still having the daily headaches, but they weren't the level of pain that I was describing early on. Just debilitating, awful, pounding headaches that were just unrelenting. So once I stopped, and it was really hard to stop because I was taking pain medicine, and when I say pain medicine, I was taking a 5 milligram Norco, hydrocodone, every 3 to 4 hours. So it was hard to stop that. I had a lot of pain, and I had probably what was withdrawal from it, which also gave me headaches. Just didn't feel great. I felt pretty crummy for a few days, but I thought I've got to do this. So the other issue was the medicine that I was taking for the headaches. Besides the pain pills, I was also taking Imitrex, which I believe is sumatriptan. So there's several medications that fall in that triptan family. I had pretty much, I think, tried them all. Anyway, I was taking those maybe every other day. And I learned that you shouldn't take those more than 2 times a week. So when they prescribed me, I think it was 9 or 10 for the month, and I got frustrated calling my doctor trying to figure out why I couldn't get more. That was why. It's not recommended to take more than 10 times in a 30-day period. So all good information to know that none of the people that I had talked to were telling me. So that was the other thing that I learned on that initial call. And slowly but surely, I was able to wean myself off of those pain medications. I was still having a lot of issues, as you can imagine, during the day with managing the pain because I could stay on that pain pill around the clock and at least feel okay and be functional and do all the things that I need to do as a mom. And then I was, back to what do I do with this pain? If I can't make it go away, how am I going to get through my everyday life? So fortunately, that was only a couple of weeks before I got some real relief, and that was with the Botox injections. I went and got that done in her office, maybe just a few days after our first televisit, and she told me it could take 2 to 3 rounds to get results, and so I'm already thinking, okay, well, this is 6 months down the road that I could be waiting to have relief if this works. So I wasn't super hopeful that it would work right away. So then that first week, as it's slow, and if anybody's ever had Botox, it takes a couple weeks, up to a couple weeks to start taking effect. So, and I knew that, and I wasn't expecting to have quick results anyway. So in the meantime, after the injections, I'm taking the medicine like she's prescribed, and I realize I'm taking it more than 2 times a week. I think I took it 3 times the first week. There was another prescription that she gave me called Ubrelvy, I think is how you pronounce it. Ubrelvy, Revly. Anyway, And she said you could take that one more frequently, but the issue is it's a new medication, it's very expensive, and insurance is only going to approve 10 of them at a time, and they have this savings program where you only have to pay $1 a pill, which is great. So you pay $10, you get 10 pills, but they won't let you get more. So whatever, all the red tape with insurance and stuff kind of gives me a headache. So that was also helping, but I'm running out, right? And so I had just sent her a message. This was 2 weeks ago on Friday. I had just sent her a message and say, hey, do you have any ideas? Because here's what I'm experiencing. I think I'm gonna end up taking this more than twice a week. I don't know what else to do. Do you have any ideas? And she said, our next step, if this is not working, is to do the nerve block. So let's go ahead and schedule it for next week. My insurance is changing after the end of October. And so I thought, okay, the risk is minimal. I've got to get some relief. I can't take these medications more than I'm already taking them. So we scheduled the appointment. That very night, and I won't go into a ton of details, but that very night we had an accident with our 3-year-old. And I put my makeup on so that I wouldn't cry. Let's just say it was very stressful. He had a fall, and we spent 24 hours in the ICU, but long story short, it's a miracle. He's recovering amazingly. He's going to recover 100%. There's no long-term lasting effects, when for a split second, I thought it was much worse than it ended up being. And so I only tell you that to then tell you that the next day, of course, I had a migraine. I had been up for more than 24 hours. I was under stress that I had never experienced before in my life. And so understandably, I had a pretty bad headache. So I went ahead and took what I had on me, which was, again, the Relpax is the triptan drug that she gave me. So I took Relpax and naproxen. She told me to take those 2 things together, so I did, and I got relief. I woke up the next day, no headache. And I have woken up every day since then with no headache. And that was almost 2 weeks ago. So I am so excited. I feel so much better. I had a follow-up visit with her this week, and I said, what do you think it is? Is it the medications that I'm taking, or do you think it's the Botox? And she said 100% it's the Botox. She said it doesn't work right away for everyone, not even the majority of people that ultimately end up getting relief from Botox. She said, so I didn't want to give you false hope, but you're one of the lucky ones that it did help. And thank God. And I mean, it couldn't have been better timing. So I could spend an hour making a video about this I feel like a new person. My husband and I have had many, many talks in the last couple weeks, just about gratitude. And I jokingly said on my last video, I can't wait to make a video where I share with you all the things that I've learned. And I didn't think it would be 2 weeks later, but it is. I feel like my son and I both got a second chance at life, and God, I didn't want to cry. I'm not gonna waste it. And part of the reason I wanted to make this video was so that I could go back and watch it myself if I ever lose that. And I hope that by sharing this, somebody out there is inspired to maybe take a look at what's important in your life, because I can assure you it can be taken away from you in an instant. And for 3 months, I felt like I was losing everything that was important to me. Everything was affected. I just didn't have a great quality of life. And I thought, how on earth am I gonna live like this? And it's so funny now to think like, God, that was nothing. I could live with that headache for the rest of my life, to never experience what I had to with my 3-year-old. We would take away our kids' pain, and we would take it and wear it forever. And in that moment, I just realized how precious life is, and how important family is, and love. And no matter what I went through or experienced in the deepest, darkest days of the pain and the misery that I was in, one thing was constant, and that was my family and the love that we feel in this house, and it never wavered. And I'm already thinking I'm gonna redo this video, but I'm not, dang it, I'm not. I'm gonna share it because it's real and it's raw, and I hope that somebody hears this and is inspired, because I would love to have gotten this feeling without going through what we did over the last 3 months, but I'm so grateful for it. And that's really crazy to sit here and say, but the last 2 weeks, I have seen this world so much differently. And it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and the stresses of work and the crazy, ridiculous stuff that you read online and people's political rants on Facebook. It's so easy to get caught in that and think it's so important. It's not important. It's not. Family is important. Love is important. Okay, I've harped on enough. I really just wanted to give this last and final update that, hallelujah, after 100+ days, I'm headache free, and I'm never gonna take another day for granted, promise. And the plan moving forward is just to follow up with this neurologist, and the silver lining in all this is that I get free Botox. So found a way to get insurance to make me look younger, which is a nice little bonus. So anyway, I'll probably stay on top of that for a while, and I will just keep on with this neurologist. I mean, I've always had migraines, so it probably isn't a bad idea to be consulting with a neurologist rather than just my primary care. So hopefully she's in Tulsa to stay, and I can just stay up with her. And if they do come back, at least we'll have a plan, and I won't have to live in misery for 3 months waiting to get in to see a doctor that knows what they're doing. So anyway, if anyone out there is watching this and experiencing what I just went through after COVID, please reach out, message me, find me on Facebook. That's how a few people have connected with me, and it just makes this all feel worthwhile if I'm able to help someone else not go through what I went through for so long. So this virus isn't going anywhere, and some of you that are watching this may run into this down the road. I hope you don't, but if you do, I'm here. I want to be a resource for you. And really just help people know that you're not alone, because that can feel very isolating. So anyway, hope everyone has a good weekend, and thanks for making it through all the tears with me. And yeah, that's it. I appreciate you listening. Sometimes it's very healing for me to share things publicly, and I know you guys are always here for it, so I appreciate it. Love you all.